Oh man, I don't know specifically. There were enough beautiful girls that walked through the door. Let's put it that way.
Actresses that we should know, models. Well, come on, give us something.
Gosh, man, you're killing me. There were playmates, a couple of playmates I walked through. God. Off the hand, man, names, nobody huge, put it that way.
But huge in the right areas, I'm assuming.
All right, sure.
Oh, man. Well, like I said, everyone take a look at that. It's My Big Break. Go to Amazon.com. Order it tomorrow. You will not be dissatisfied. I've been following the story for a really long time. Last question on the movie, and we'll move on. Do you still keep in contact with the guys from the film, the guys that you roommated for 4 years with?
I do. I can't say that about everybody else, but I do. I saw Wes maybe a month and a half ago. We have mutual friends, and we went out and saw each other. And I talk to Tony all the time, who directed the movie. I saw Greg maybe like a week and a half ago up in Vancouver, and talked to Brad maybe 4 months ago. I saw him about 4 or 5 months ago. So, whether we like it or not, we'll always be connected. And, they're going to be family to me, always, brothers for life. So, we may not see each other all the time, but, it's a special connection.
Now with the movie, I'm saying how you've seen it obviously. So how accurately do you feel it, portrayed you guys in the house? And because there's a lot that can be done with, editing and that kind of stuff. How do you feel it portrayed your struggles or your characters?
Extremely honest. It's extremely honest. I mean, you'll see there's no sort of special editing, or it's just raw. It's extremely raw, and I think it's pretty true. I mean, Tony stayed very close to the truth, and it's all out there on the table.
Wow. And really, the way that whole film was described to me was like Entourage, but real.
Yeah, I mean, I think Entourage, I love Entourage. Don't get me wrong. I think Entourage is a great show, but it's a little candied version, I think, of what Hollywood is truly like. And this just sort of tells you exactly how it is, man. And everyone's got to struggle when they come here, and even when you get successful, it's still struggling, it's still a struggle. And what that does to your relationships. And like I said, and everyone's got a different reason. Everyone's in it for different reasons, it seems. So, I don't know. I'll be curious to hear your thoughts on it when you see it.
Oh, I'm dying to see it. I know there's a lot of rejection in Hollywood. That's pretty much the worst thing for an actor to hear is no. And not just an actor, but anyone in any form of work. For you personally, how do you take rejection? You go for a part, you think you really nailed it, and then bam, you don't get a call back. Like, how does it really affect you personally?
Yeah, I've let it, you learn how to let it roll off your shoulder. There are times that you really want a part really bad, and you get close, and then they tell you no, or they tell you why, or you look a certain way, or you kind of have to have a really rough exterior, and sometimes it stings, and you got to let it sting for about 5 minutes, and you got to move on, because there's 20 more auditions that you got to go on to get to the one that you actually get. So you kind of have to not take it personally.
Was there one thing that you tried out for and you're like, I nailed this, and just comes to mind where just disappointed you that you didn't get it? One specific role? There's been a few lately. There was one independent I wanted, and it didn't go my way. But it happens so much, and then you actually see the movie, you're like, oh, okay, I'm glad I didn't get it, or there's this one.
You're like, that was for the best.
So, I'm a firm believer. If it's meant to be yours, it'll come your way, and if it doesn't happen, then that part was never meant to be yours. It's such a personal thing when when you get a part, Mm-hmm.
You seem like you have such a great attitude towards everything. It just amazes me. And right off the bat, you landed some really big roles. I mean, Fast and the Furious. You're like third from the top in such a huge movie. When you read that script, did you really imagine how successful it really would be?
Not at all, man. Not in the slightest. That movie changed my life. I was extremely naive at that age, and when that movie came to me in the script, and I didn't really understand what it was going to become, and I was a kid, let's put it that way, and I had a great time filming the movie, and I didn't know what it was going to become. I honestly had no clue, and then the movie came out, and people started recognizing me the very next day, and changed my life, and it just goes to show you that you never know. You absolutely never know, and it became a phenomenon, and people still recognize me to this day from that movie. So it was a huge blessing, man. I was so excited to be a part of it, and it happened to me, and it's Fast and the Furious. Good time.
It had one of the biggest, most successful franchises in the history of films. It's still going, and it's going to continue to go.
I know that thing is still going, and they're making number 6. And from what I understand, I think they're gonna make it more about a heist sort of, movie now. I think. I don't know, but yeah, as long as they're making money and the fans keep liking the movies, and I saw the last 2, and I thought they were really good.
Yeah, I agree, especially with The Rock coming into the films and the franchise. I hear he's signed up for the next one.
Oh, I'm sure he has. Yeah, man, I enjoyed watching The Rock.
Now, were you a big wrestling fan growing up? I mean, we all were. Were you a wrestling fan growing up?
Totally, dude. Hulk Hogan, Jake the Snake Roberts, Andre the Giant, Roddy Piper. Those days, that was my wrestling heyday, yeah.
I agree. We grew up in the same time frame, and I love that stuff like you can't even imagine. Something else I love. I'm a huge X-Files fan, and you had the chance to be on the X-Files. Were you a fan of the show while it was on?
Not really, honestly.
Really?
I had never seen it. I mean, I maybe seen it a few times. But I knew what it was. I mean, I knew that it was a phenomenon, and I had this. So I was very excited to have gone on it once and gotten to work with Mulder and Scully, and Duke Cassidy, a cool guy, and to say that I've been on that show is pretty cool.
Now you've done a lot of stuff like big TV shows, ER, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, NCIS. CSI. Was there one show in particular that you were so excited to be a part of?
ER was pretty special because I was back in its heyday, and Clooney, and my mom was huge into ER, so to give her the phone call that I was going to be working with George Clooney, that was pretty awesome. Let me see, CSI New York, I got to work with Gary Sinise, Lieutenant Dan. Yeah, man, it's cool when you kind of get to work with people that you grew up watching or have had a huge impact, on you as a kid, and now you're standing across from them having a conversation. It's kind of a trip.
Wow, yeah, I can't imagine. My thing, X-Files. I'm not a big sci-fi fan. I'm not one of those little sci-fi geeks, but that show for me was just amazing, and I couldn't imagine if I'm placed in that scene with them, I would be having this big mark-out moment, starstruck. And now, was there ever anything you worked on when you're wow, I don't want to feel this way, but I'm starstruck working with this person? I know you did mention George Clooney and Gary Sinise. Was there one specific moment or interaction that you had where you're wow, this is not real. This is not real.
Yeah, it's I'd worked with probably Ed Harris a couple of years ago. And he's such an amazing actor and class act and one of the best. And it's kind of intimidating, actually, to when they're like that, to be sitting across from them having a scene. It's exhilarating and it's frightening all at once. Yeah. So there are those moments where you have to pinch yourself, and it is a little surreal.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the opposite, who's the biggest dick you've ever met in Hollywood or on any set?
I honestly, man, I'm telling you the truth, there's nobody that sticks out in my mind. I mean, there have been along the way some people I just don't care for, you know what I mean, that kind of have attitude about the industry. But honest to God, I don't even judge the assholes because everyone's in it for themselves, and I don't know what got them there. And I know why I care about acting, and you know, someone may be in it for different reasons. I don't know. So I just sort of like mind my own business. And honestly, there was not one guy that I've been pretty lucky to work with a lot of great people. So